Hi everyone, this is Mary, you're on Mary Reads, and in this video I decided to talk about the best books of 2023, the ones that I absolutely loved. There are only 5 of them this year, unfortunately. I wasn't reading as much as I would want to, but I think these books are pretty good. They're all in different genres, and I liked each one of them a lot. And the first book of my list is Alexandre Dumas' Queen Margot, or Lorraine Margot. It is a historical novel set in 16th century France during the period when Huguenot wars were going. So it was a very sad, very violent period in the history of France, with a lot of deaths due to religious differences. And it was very interesting to see the life of the kings and princes during that time. So in the first book, we have a lot of different plot lines. There are 3 main ones. The first one is Queen Margot and her friend finding love in 2 dukes, La Mole and de Coconas, and they, even though both of them were married, they fell in love with them, and these were 2 young people who experienced love for the first time, and especially it was crazy for them that such high status women fell in love with them. So we see the story of their relationship, the development of their relationship, and this is the first kind of storyline. Very beautiful, very sad. You can see all the secretive dates, trying to make sure that nobody knows about the relationship, trying to kind of not attract too much attention to yourself. It was a very, very interesting line, probably my favorite one here. The second line is about the Valois brothers. One of them was a king. He had 2 younger brothers who obviously realized that they're not getting a throne. So they were trying to figure something out. One of them, a middle brother, becomes a king of Poland because he understands that he can't get a French throne. And the younger kid realizes that there is nothing left for him, so he doesn't get any power. He's gonna stay a prince, a duke, whatever, but he's not becoming a king. And he is trying to figure something out for himself. He understands that he's not getting anything, so he needs to create his own future himself. So he's trying to see which group he can get an alliance with, who might give him the throne in the future. But the current king dies, and both of the brothers are trying to see who of them is going to become a new king. So obviously it should be the middle brother, but he's a king of Poland, so he either has to just run away from the country and go back to France, or he should stay in Poland. So there is this rivalry between the brothers. And what makes it worse is that Margot, who is also a king and queen's daughter, so she's a princess, marries Henry III, a king of Navarre, who is also a Huguenot, and he also wants to get the throne of France. The Queen Catherine de' Medici, mother of the current king, mother of Queen Margot, doesn't want the throne to go away from her family. She wants the Valois dynasty to keep growing, to keep being kings and queens, and she does everything she can to keep her sons healthy and happy, and she wants them to bring kids into this world so that the dynasty can flourish. And she realizes that Henry III, Margot's husband, is now a potential threat. So she's trying to get rid of him by all the different means. And this is just the novel that is full of adventure, it's full of love, it's full of gossip, it's full of plots against somebody. And it is an extremely interesting novel. This was an amazing book. I loved it. One thing to remember, though, is that it's still a fiction, a historical fiction, but it's a fiction novel. And Dumas took, yes, some of the events were real. People all were real, or most of them were. I think in the first book, all of them were real. But he took a lot of legends. He took a lot of tales about that period, And I don't think you can trust everything that was said there. Just keep in mind that it is still a fiction novel, and even though it is based on real events, some of it is still tales that people told each other, and no historical research proves that this was actually true. The second book is Sister Carrie by Theodore Dreiser, and this book is the one that made me think about it for several months after I finished reading it, and I will definitely be rereading the book. This is the story about a young girl, Carrie, who moves to Chicago to live with her sister and her sister's husband, and she is dreaming about this good, rich life where she will have comfort, where she will not have to think about what she's gonna eat tomorrow, where she can wear whatever she wants, where she can go to theaters and meet people and eat whatever she would like. But instead, she works at a shoe factory, earning like $4 a week, having to give $3.50 to her sister for the rent and for food. And her sister's husband tells her that you're not gonna get anywhere unless you work super hard. You have to like start with a shoe factory where you work now, then you will get from $4 to $5, then you'll get from $5 to $6. And in the end, you might earn like $20 a week like I do. But Carrie realizes that this is still not what she wants. First, she's not able to save anything. Second, even $20 a week is nothing. That's not what she wants. This does not bring her to the higher society. So she starts talking to a guy who she met on the train, who introduces to all this rich life. And this is the story of a poor person becoming rich and a rich person becoming poor. And it is a very, very sad, but also very, very realistic, I would say, in some ways, definitely, story about people, about how they try to survive, about the mistakes they make, about the decisions that bring them their fortune. And this book absolutely crushed me. By the end of it, I was not ready to read anything else. But it was amazing. I absolutely enjoyed it, and it was a great read. I didn't expect that. I had the book on my shelves for like 5 years, and I just thought that it's gonna be boring. And then I decided to take the book because, well, it's been 5 years, and I absolutely loved this story. It was just amazing. I would say out of all the books, this is probably the best one. The next book is People in the Trees by Hanya Yanagihara, and this time I finally have a copy. So this book just blew my mind when I was reading it. I didn't like it a lot at first, but then I changed my mind completely once I finished the book. So this book tells us about a very famous scientist who found a kind of an elixir of life, a way to stay immortal, and he got a Nobel Prize for it. And in the beginning of the book, he gets accused of sexually harassing a child, and he needs to spend some time in jail. Obviously, nobody believes this because he's this great scientist. He made the greatest discovery in the universe. And how can he harass a child? And we kind of dive into his story. We find out the background. We find out how he got to finding this immortality elixir. In this book, what amazed me the most is how Yanagihara plays with our feelings towards Dr. Perrota, the professor, the scientist, how this is a love-hate relationship. So we first hate him because, oh my god, this scientist harassed a kid. Then we love him because, well, he's a great scientist, so maybe everything is a lie, and we are coming to find out what is actually true, and it makes us make our own decision if we like him or not. And I also really enjoyed it that Yanagihara makes us think about morality in the sense of like what is right and what is wrong, and does it change? Does right become wrong and wrong become right in a different circumstances, in a different environment, in different circumstances with different people? Like, is the truth always very objective and we can say this is the truth and that's it? Is it an objective phenomena, or there is some subjectivity to it. And another problem that we are facing as readers in the book is the progress killing the nature. This is a very big part of the book that's threading through all 300 pages. And that actually was very, very, it was a great picture for me because, well, yes, I know that we now have like much less trees, we now have much less of clean air, or the nature is struggling, animals are dying, the water is dirty because of all the factories, I understand. But you see all this progress around you and you're thinking, oh my God, maybe it was worth it. Maybe we are getting on like the next stage and the next level of human development. And this book draws you a great picture of what actually happens, how it actually is, how actually bad it is that the nature is getting killed, what can happen from it, and how societies get and land get ruined just from the progress. The next book is Heartburn by Nora Ephron, and I loved this book because of how realistic it was. Reading it made me think of just my experiences, and I think that whoever went through a divorce or a breakup absolutely will relate to the feelings of the main character. Nora Ephron talks about her own story. She divorced her husband when she just gave birth to her second child. She found out that he's cheating on her when she was pregnant with their second child. And this is when she started thinking about divorce, the possibility of divorce, if she wants it or if she doesn't, if she loves this person enough, and what's her future going to be like as a mother of 2 kids who doesn't have a husband near her. And this is just a very, very realistic and sweet story of how you do struggle, but you slowly start restoring yourself. You slowly get back to your regular life. And again, anybody who has ever gone through a breakup or a divorce will absolutely relate to the story, just because it's so real, so natural. It feels like any one of your neighbors could be a main character of this story. It feels like you yourself could be a character of this story. There is nothing fictional about it. It's very, very real, and it feels like that's something we see every day. And the last book is Mrs. Fletcher by Tom Perrota. I didn't expect much from this book. I found it and decided to take it. Like, our building has a little drawer downstairs where people can put their books. And I just found this book and I decided that I want to try it. And I actually loved it a lot. It, like Heartburn, it was one of these books that just talks about regular life. You see people, you see them growing, you see their failures, you see their little achievements, and you just go through their life with them. And in this story, we see Brendan, an 18-year-old boy who goes to college, and he experiences these first expectation versus reality feelings. We see his mother, who finds out something new about herself. She's in her 40s. She's fully established in her life. She thinks she knows everything she needs to, and now she just leaves her life. And she suddenly realizes something about herself that changes her life completely. And she starts thinking about herself differently. She starts thinking about the world a little bit differently. And we just go through regular people's lives. It made me think about myself. I thought about my own future. I thought maybe this is what my future is going to look like. Maybe, yes, I will have a house and my son will go off to college and my husband and I are going to be left alone. And it's going to be sad, and how we're going to be rebuilding our lives, just the two of us. And it made me think of my future kids. How are they going to do in college? How is their experience going to look like? What are they going to be doing there? And it is just a great book to relax with. It was perfect for Christmas holidays. And if you decide to read this book, I would absolutely suggest to read it during holidays. Maybe if you're taking a vacation, or it's like Christmas holidays or Easter holidays, whatever. This is the book you should take. And this was all for today. These were 5 books that I loved in 2023. Tell me if you have any books that you absolutely enjoyed. I always love adding books to my to be read list. And I'll see you soon. Bye bye.